welcome to Opening Arguments. This is back to the Vapid Response format, I think. I'm Thomas Smith. That over there is the Force Ghost of Matt Cameron, projected from that planet that Luke was hanging out on, I think. How are you doing?
This subject took me out. I am dead.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about a very grave, made-up threat to our nation. So can't wait to get into it.
Always love that. And Lydia, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm feeling spooked out by Matt, but I think that the stuff we're going to be covering is
he's
spookier.
He's not a spooky ghost. He's
a friendly.
Friendly ghost, yeah. There's a ghost, there's the spooky ghost, and then there's the friendly ghost.
Matt's like the Casper type.
Yeah. And
okay.
Never the twain shall. Or is maybe Force Ghost is the third. This is the ghost trinary system. Interesting. Because either way, he's friendly and he's a Force Ghost. Something happened with Matt's camera. We don't know what. We can't figure it out. It's the weirdest thing. But did our best, and he's just
the show must go on.
Shinier than normal. Or he might be that shiny in real life. Like maybe his camera's finally working.
Yeah. And we finally see him for who he is.
Matt, when people run into you on the street, they're like, boy, you're really shiny and almost translucent.
It does explain why everybody in my office wears sunglasses all the time.
Yeah. Do you ever accidentally cook like microwave popcorn just by standing near it? It just goes off. Good times. No, I'm excited. Why don't you give us a little preview? What vapid nonsense are we responding to today?
Well, I'm the ghost of democracy's future, apparently. That's what we're talking about here. On October 7th, Donald Trump held a round table for very important and very well-respected journalists, 8 out of 11 of which are associated with Turning Point USA, to let us know about the very incredibly real threat of capital A Antifa to the United States. So we're going to start out with a little amuse douche from Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, telling us why this is very real. And then we'll just get right into it. And we got a lot to cover here. And I also want to take a moment to explain legally why I think this is actually really important. We're not just responding to idiots. We're responding to dangerous idiots who are saying a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Always good to get some law in the show. That's important. I do want to cover that.
That's what I'm here for.
Oh, also, we have our patrons to thank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Should we get to that?
Let's do it.
Do we need to do any other previewing?
No,
let's do it. Patrons. All right. Well, we're going to thank our patrons on patreon.com/law. Love doing these shout outs. People change their names or they don't. Both are great. Speaking of different kinds of ghosts, it's also the two patron system. Veterinary for America 2028, One Man, One Vote. Unremarkable. Amina. Donna Treadaway, Mother of Harridans, Protect Trans Kids, Deep Space Nine was the best Star Trek, Mike Lipinski, Won't Lovers Revolt Now? That's a really good one. That's a
interesting.
I had to double check. I was like, is that really, how have I not come across?
That also feels like a call to action a bit too. Like,
yeah,
if
perfect.
You're a lover, then you should also be part of the revolution or something.
Never come across this,
interesting. Palindrome.
Palindrome, yeah.
Yeah.
Cyanitis, normalized bidirectional spooning. It's funny every time. Charlie Kelly, attorney at Bird Law. Fourth Circuit attorney, reluctantly changing her font. Apprentice of Adventure, probably a real person. Nick Fish, who was just on Serious Inquiries Only. Really interesting interview with Nick Fish. Check that out.
And talking about nonprofit organizations in the wake of Trump's administration kind of cracking down on what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, it's
potentially
really
funding domestic terrorists.
It was a great interview.
So.
Nick is great, and I'm glad people like Nick and other people running organizations are thinking of how to stay one step ahead of this fascism. There's a lot more you would think that you can do maybe to be prepared for the different levels of fascism that might come your way if you run an organization like that, or if you're a part of one. Or honestly, there's even some advice in there for just normal people.
Yeah,
because,
just basic security.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. So anyway, Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. How many chunks would a chunk hunk thunk if a chunk hunk could thunk chunks?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I started going into what it was before. And David Souther, or I think that's how you pronounce that. Thank you so much, patrons. They make the show happen. That's at patreon.com/law. Love doing these shout outs. Always a good time. And with that, we'll go to our first quick break for listeners, and then we'll be right to it. Okay, let's go to our, Matt, you have the perfect name for this, of course. What's our first segment?
Our amuse douche, featuring Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn with a very real concern about an extremely real thing that exists. It's fired up.
That could be so many things. Here we go.
And there are some Democrats that say it's time for this to be put aside and get back to work.
There's a report left-wing Antifa agitators are posting a hit list of reporters in Portland following the assassination of Charlie
I'm going to go ahead and
Kirk.
say
How
false.
alarming is that?
Correct.
God, they're not even it's so low effort propaganda. There's a report that they're killing the dolphins and your children. Would that be bad or good?
That sucks, right?
It's bad.
Yeah.
God, it's like it's the Boys, the show The Boys, like a lot of that satire is pretty good, but then it also like we just got satirizable, and it just became increasingly hard to even do the bit.
If this were the show, they'd be like, you jumped the shark.
It is terribly alarming. And for people that say Antifa does not exist, that is beyond me. You do have this organization. They are very well funded. And you have these Antifa sales. And
Antifa sales?
for them to be producing hit list is indeed alarming. And Mike, one of the things that does concern me is the uptick in violence against federal law enforcement and ICE. That's increased over 8,000%
We're talking about journalists
this year. And I have that Protecting Law Enforcement from Doxing Act, which we are trying to get through Senate Judiciary Committee. That needs to get to President Trump's desk. So we do name it a felony and go after these individuals that are doxing law enforcement and their families.
Some of your colleagues think they've uncovered.
We're going to call it there. I have to chime in on this 8,000% figure before we talk about the hit list. So this is tied to like literally just a press statement from DHS. As recently as like 2 weeks ago, there was a congressional hearing in which Alex Padilla his office was requesting the data behind that number, as well as a statement where they said that assaults against ICE law enforcement.
Matt, are the ghost police coming after you? Have you kept up with all the ghost regulations that...
You can't. You can only evade the Ghostbusters for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come and set the trap under Matt. It's like, well, he had it coming.
So they, like, as recently as, earlier, or I guess in November, they were saying that assaults were up 1,150%. And so Alex Padilla had requested, like, we'd like the data, the source data for this, because they're like, data indicates, our most recent report indicates you can't find that anywhere. I searched their website. They have data available, but it's not that data.
Maybe it's wherever they put all the economic report, the jobs numbers and stuff like that.
Like, I mean, you have a senator requesting that data, and they refuse to hand anything over. They're just not doing it. So he actually, in that congressional hearing, he basically said that he would not be participating in this charade as part of his opening statement. He closed his binder and walked out. So good for him. He also tried to point out that if this were an actual hearing that they were doing about, quote, the radical left's crusade against immigration enforcement, they would have had witnesses that are like government officials speaking to what's going on, but instead they had a sheriff from Texas. They had the vice president of this organization called Chicago Flips Red, and they had a journalist from the Washington Examiner. Those were their witnesses for that hearing.
It wasn't Andy No? That's so weird.
It was not Andy No. It was Mia Cathell.
He must have been busy in a different congressional thing. They're like, I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so in demand.
Fake Antifa bullshit.
Oh, we're going to talk about Andy No in a minute.
A very important point, since we were doing the amuse douche. Why do we use the insult of a charade? Because charades is delightful.
Yeah,
I feel like if it was like a charade would be like there's a real problem, but you have to get people to guess what. Okay, 3 syllables. Let's see. Yeah, is fascism 3 syllables or to fascism?
Movie.
Is it 3? Yeah. It's like I'm not participating in this charade. Just say fascism. You know?
That's fair.
It's fun. Anyway, important point I wanted to make.
But because we can't get the data anywhere, just very, very quickly, the LA Times actually reported on this yesterday. I'll include this in the show notes. They tried to look into it and tried to like recreate the data by looking at just the court cases that have been coming up. And that's fake. This is not real.
Hey, smart people, why are you wasting time doing anything like that? Like, there's no point. Here's what's going to happen. I hate to, bash journalists who are probably working hard. what is the fucking best outcome of that endeavor that you're doing? Oh, we'll issue reports saying, well, this is unsubstantiated. Really? The shit they're spewing from fascist regime is unsubstantiated? Wow, that's going to do it. Why are you wasting your time? Why are we all wasting our time with stuff like that?
I think it's worthwhile to have it documented for history.
Yeah,
I think that's okay.
True. They should just be DMing like the future, hey, no one gives a shit about this now, but I'm just putting it in a time capsule.
Yeah, but I mean, as part of it, like they reach out also to DHS for comment and stuff, and you just get the same like stupid press statements and like no data again.
I hope when they reach out, they're just like, hey, you just tell me a quick lie. I'm just going to document it. What's the lie for this one? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. All right. I'll write it down.
In this article, friend of the show, Charis Kubrin was actually quoted. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out too. She's the individual for Rap on Trial that you guys covered way back when. And she said, this is what we call in sociology a moral panic. A moral panic is created when statistics and other things are used to kind of create or socially construct a problem that is bigger than it is. So just kind of calling out what the administration is doing here.
My only qualm there is that we're in like 17 layers of moral panic already. It's kind of this is like a sub moral panic of the immigration one and then the ICE one and then the cities are going too crazy one and then like it's,
I know it's
but I guess it's still true.
But so that 8,000% stupid and then this 1150% is also stupid.
This number has been inflating all year, of course, but I just want to point out that the official voice of Antifa, National Public Radio, has come out with its own numbers and has determined that assaults against law enforcement federally have been about 25% higher. I think I'm not very good at math, but I think 25%, 1,000% is a little bit of wiggle room in between those two.
When you think about like just number of approaches or whatever, right? Like that's also climbed. So you'd have to like control for everything, right? You would have to basically normalize your data sets between those two periods of time.
Yeah, it's way more interactions. Yeah. It's also they're classifying stuff, anything, or whatever.
Assault,
what I think is funny
that's a big thing. Assault's been classified
going to
like
those
crazy.
big percentages. Pretty soon there's going to be more ice than there are atoms in the universe. Like it can't be 1,000% month over month for that long. Like you could get one big jump from changing the tracking, but pretty soon then just everybody's ice. I'm ice. You're ice. We're all ice. We're hitting each other, and then that's like adding up. Ow, 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 ow. It's like stop icing hitting yourself. Ice. It's like you can't be 1,000% every month. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, well, it's anecdotal, it turns out. But I do want to point out before we move on, Opening Arguments has obtained the exclusive hit list. You want to put that up on the screen?
That up.
Oh, sweet.
Here it is.
Because
all right, everyone, take a name, commit a murder, buy a weapon, get ready,
or actually maybe follow what it says on the list.
Arrest. Matt, can they arrest ghosts? Oh, that we can't. We covered that. They can't arrest ghosts. So be careful. You're not free from it either.
That's why we heard the sirens earlier.
Yeah. You got to see this actual list though. Now, so first of all, BOLO, as in be on the lookout, and it lists first of all people who have actually had actual criminal charges who are dangerous because they're going around assaulting people. But check out as you scroll down the really pertinent part on the left side, which makes it the opposite of a hit list.
Here, I thought I had it all figured out with my methods here, but it was a bad method. Keep talking. I'll get it figured out.
As you'll see, there's a good reason that you actually want to know. And as we'll continue to talk about this through the roundtable, we're going to talk about their tactics and how they do things. But of course, these people are provocateurs. That's what they do. They go in and try to start shit.
Washington Examiner called this a hit list, so then everybody else has been calling it a hit list. They also described these pictures as wanted-style photographs. But as you can see, it's clearly just a Polaroid frame.
Yeah, let's look at this one. Wanted, honey badger mom. Is that a wanted photograph?
No.
You can't even say they doxed her. I don't even know what her name is.
Wanted style photograph. Here, I'll get a little more zoom. Oh, yeah, that's exactly how they do it. Oh, whoops, I got my layers messed up.
The BC
here.
Preacher.
That guy. Is the Harold Smith one? Is that how they take wanted?
It's his best angle. Try scrolling down because you have to see what it actually says on the left side there, because that is the pertinent part that makes it the opposite of a hit list. This is specifically a do not hit list.
Do not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hit that list.
That too.
All right, I think I got, here we go. I think I got it. So I can
all right.
Scroll.
There it is. Oh, no. So, scroll back up. Tiny little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Right there. Do not take the bait.
Yeah.
Do not take the bait.
Do not seek the treasure. They will travel to different cities in order to create content that fits their narrative. Don't give it to them. Oh, hold on. Also, Murder them. Oh yeah, I see it there. It's in small fine print.
Yeah, asterisk,
So
footnote.
Andy obviously anyone who ended up on this list was tweeting about it because it's also a way for them to get people to start following them and subscribe to them and give them money, right? Because they're under attack. Andy No tweeted about this and said, a trans activist in Portland has put out a hit list graphic of me and others, putting me at and they had like another thing that isn't shown here on this hit list, putting me at the highest threat level and suggesting others take action. Suggesting others take action. It's a different thing where they have like these specific like zoom-ins on particular people. But the suggesting others take action, it's specifically telling people not to take action. So I don't know. It's just so silly.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Jonathan Cho chimed in on this too in the coverage. He's listed on here and said, I actually kind of laughed because this is now like the 7th hit list I've been on in the past 3 months. Whether it's Seattle or Portland, it seems like my face is everywhere now, and it's due to the coverage that I've been doing now for the past 5 years of far-left activism, especially Antifa violence.
Yeah, as we'll see. So these are the kinds of people we're going to be talking about today, these people on this do not hit list. Their whole deal is just getting up on faces and making trouble and trying to get the footage they want, just as it says in this poster. So I would advise to do what it says in the poster. Don't interact with them, ignore them, leave them alone.
Yep.
But I'm sure Marsha Blackburn hadn't actually seen this. It doesn't matter. She's just going to say what she's going to say. But I thought everybody else should see it.
Absolutely.
In the same way that she parroted the 8,000% data point with when the data doesn't even exist, as far as we know.
Yeah, but there's a good reason that they need this narrative, so we should talk about that very quickly. I've sent you a couple of links here so that we can pull that up and show everybody, just so you know I'm not making this up. We've talked about this on opening arguments before, but I really want to stress this point about how much they need to make this up and why they're doing it, and the consequences, what it means for us. There are two different things. There's an executive order and there's a national security memo. You can just pull them up there in the list we have them. But the first thing that they did was designate Antifa, a domestic terror organization. Capital A Antifa, which does not exist. Antifa is a set of ideologies, small case A. There is no capital A Antifa. And there is also, coincidentally, no such thing as a domestic terror organization. That is not a designation within U.S. law. There's a foreign terror organization, which they tried, Bill Barr tried in the first term. In the very end, like right before January 6th, they tried to designate Antifa as a foreign terrorist organization. But this EO from September 22nd, 2025 is pretty scary. It's actually not as scary as the next thing we're going to look at, but if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see Antifa is a militant anarchist enterprise that explicitly calls for the overthrow of the United States government. Again, it's not an enterprise is the best they can do because it's not an entity, it's not an LLC, it's not a nonprofit,
right?
It's not receiving funding or holding money. It is just a series of tactics that have been used successfully around the world since the 30s to stop the kinds of things we're seeing in this country right now. So recruits, trains, and radicalizes young Americans. You can see the whole thing. So because of that, they're going to designate them as a domestic terrorist, which again doesn't exist, but essentially is authorizing, if you scroll down a little bit further, for the FBI to do extra surveillance, to treat them basically as suspect, anybody who's involved in this kind of stuff. And we're going to bring it home in the next one. You'll see why this really matters so much. But utilize all applicable authorities to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations, especially those involving terrorist action, which can be very broadly interpreted, as we'll see in the next thing. And material support, which again can include, providing literature, providing advice, lawyering. So necessary investigatory.
Now, what's different here, Matt? Because I know we've covered this in the past, and it feels like they've been trying to do this kind of thing for a while. What's new with this particular?
Well, if you designate it as a priority for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then it becomes something that becomes a pretext for following people around, for getting warrants potentially, for surveilling without warrants. But let's go to the next one. You can see the definition, how bad this is. I just wanted to set this up before we look at the roundtable, because you're going to hear a lot of nonsense at the roundtable. The next thing is the National Security Memo. I'm sure maybe you've heard something about this. I read it the day it came out, and I had a little trouble sleeping afterward, honestly. I usually have some trouble sleeping, but it was worse than usual. This is really terrifying. This is not an executive order. It's a national security memo which sets the priorities for the national security state. And it defines Antifa in a way that should scare everybody. Because again, remember, this is not a group that exists. It's very easy to define Al-Qaeda or, the American Communist Party or whatever else you want to do. But when you create a group that doesn't exist and you define it the way that it's being defined here, it could pretty much be anybody watching or listening to this. Countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. This came out a few days after the memo the executive order we just looked at. So getting a little further, just keep scrolling. I'd like to have Lydia read the pertinent part because it needs to be read out loud. This is typical White House formatting. This came out after the Kirk assassination.
Right.
And then we have the 1,000% increase in ICE.
This anti-fascist lie has become the organizing rallying cry used by domestic terrorists to wage a violent assault against democratic institutions, constitutional rights, and fundamental American liberties. Common threads animating this violent conduct include...
Wait, I agree with that. This anti-fascist lie. Hold on, which side is this?
Yeah, right. Domestic terrorists are taking advantage of the anti-fascist lie.
How are we using an anti-fascist lie to wage violent assault against democratic institutions, constitutional rights? How are we doing? This is that's you.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the actual
That's how it works.
administration. Common threads animating this violent conduct include anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, race, and gender, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality.
Just take that in, that sentence right there. Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity. That could be interpreted as pretty much all the things that we believe in and support. I
am all those things to some degree, everybody.
I mean, if you have a good understanding of
goddamn right as an American to be those things.
Yeah.
I don't actually support the violent overthrow of the United States government. That's the only one on here that I think that you can't actually pin on me. But yeah, not yet. But I do have what's considered to be extreme views on migration, in that I think it should exist, race, in that I do actually recognize that it is a social construct, and gender, in that I recognize that there are more than two of them, and that it is not necessarily what you're born with. And hostility towards those who hold
three. That's my favorite quote of all time. God. He said he was too old to be president. He's rattling off fucking hits like that.
But hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. I mean, that's like, as Nessa pointed out, that's like 70% of America that supports same-sex marriage. I mean, that's...
it's so interesting seeing this here. And then recently on Where There's Woke, we covered the Turning Point USA event at Auburn University right after they fired someone who was just a landscape supervisor, and his exercising his First Amendment on Facebook. And it's this same kind of rhetoric, right? And so you have and Eric Trump and Lara Trump were part of that particular event. And it's just all coalescing around the same things from the bottom to the top across the country.
That's right. Yeah. And it really is. It's very intentional. And it is doing everything they can to recast their opponents and people who are very concerned about the fact that these are clearly at least neo-fascists, if not actual fascists. The fact that young Republicans are celebrating Hitler and that Hitler jokes are just fine now. Noticing this stuff.
They're just kids. They're just 35-year-old kids, Matt.
Right. Young Republicans.
There's children.
The youngest.
They're still learning in their mid-30s.
Yeah. So this is scary, because this is turning the might of national security and the FBI on those of us who, post on social media about how we don't like what's going on in this country right now. Not calling for violent revolution, just talking about it. That is enough to get you in this. So this is
you can just say identifying as an atheist could technically be enough. If they want to go after you, they can go after you, because now that they've linked that, atheism is anti-Christian potentially, and then now they've linked it to theoretically all this other stuff that they've decided is domestic terrorism.
I wish I knew how into this the rank and file are. I know we've lost a lot of people. We've lost a lot of good people out of DOJ and FBI, all these places. And this is a joke. This is obviously a joke. And you have to be part of the propaganda effort and the movement, the fascist movement, to want to even take anything like this seriously. And I know they do. They all play dumb. They all pretend. They all, they enjoy it. They enjoy lying and just say, yeah, it's terrorists. I don't think any of them believe it. I mean, maybe a little bit. Maybe they kind of convince themselves. But what I want to know is, when this comes to rubber meets the road kind of thing, and it's, some FBI agent is like, all right, go round up the nothing, and, or the everything, I guess.
Or the everything,
Yeah. I mean, how much do they, that's got to be pretty insulting to anyone who does real work, for the FBI, because we do need the FBI for some things. There's been those big gambling operation, kind of things, the sports betting things that they've taken down. There's all kinds of real reasons, sex trafficking, whatever it might be, that we need some amount of law enforcement. And I'm sure that some number of those people are good people trying to do good work. All in all, I'm pretty anti-police in general, but I know you need it for some things, and there are good people. What do those people think? Like, I'm not doing this. What is this? This is nothing. This is fucking nothing. I don't know.
Criminalizing opposition is what it is.
I just hope that there's resistance on that level, resistance in the form of, oh yeah, I'm going to file this in the rectangle, rectangular, whatever that stupid work
circular
phrase is,
Well,
I don't know.
I hope. I do think, I've been looking at, I follow the far right online as much as I can. And, I see a lot of people still talking about Antifa funding networks. They throw Antifa around for pretty much anybody like us who's just progressive or opposes the stuff they're doing. It is very concerning. And I'm willing to believe that some of these people in higher levels do think that there's some kind of funding network they could find if they kept looking. But, using the JTTF, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, which is the next part of this here, is very concerning. To take on political opponents. Yeah, it's fine. We can keep moving. But I just wanted to set all this up so you can see why it is so important that we talk about this Antifa Round Table, which is, of course, a group of idiots sitting around wasting their time on it.
They make great pizza, though. Yeah. The Antifa Round Table pizza is my favorite pizza. It's so good. Is that a California thing or is that a national brand?
No, I've never tried it.
Oh, it's good. Pretty tasty. It's good.
Yeah. And they said we weren't organized.
And the Antifa, they use, bits of the victims, in the pizza.
Gross.
That's why the hit list is there. And it's tasty. It's better than you think.
Extra ICE officers. Yeah. All right. Well, we should get on to the main event here.
But I think we should take a break first before we jump into that.
Main event. Oh, man, we're way behind the schedule. That's okay. We've got to thank our amazing patrons, and this is the third of them. Thank you to Mark Schultz. I keep going in the wrong order. Oh, well. How about let's go this way because we can build up to the top patron.
There you go.
A negative phenomenon. Oh, wow. Amy, must I jujitsu my ma? Holy crap. These are getting better and better. Is ChatGPT helping you all with this?
I know. You have to tell us if it is. So.
Amy, must I jujitsu? Who would have thought you could use jujitsu in a palindrome?
Maybe they were inspired from.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
God-Awful
true.
Movies.
We were on God-Awful Movies bonus.
Yeah.
That's for their patrons only. God damn it. But they should give it to everybody.
Release it.
Yeah. Release the
jujitsu files.
Release the Smith cut of the jujitsu. Best movie I've ever seen in my life. It's so bad.
So bad.
Amy, must I jujitsu my mom? What a great. What a good palindrome. You got to fight for your right to ex parte. Jay Sink, council member elect, vehicular manslaughter, not to be confused with New York Penal Code 125.12 or whatever. Cavalry, please replace this Bubba joke with whatever scandal is current. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Even a blind squirrel can find these jokes. Funny every time. Huh, weird. This patron name is blinking. What happens if I... Oh, no. Thomas Friedman, Cajun Killa, Fraud Fishy hates everything.
Classic.
Chris Simpson, being told to support Gavin Newsom by blue no matter who people who oppose Mamdani has me at my limit. I agree if that exists. I haven't heard of it, but I agree if that exists. Gavelhead chucking away, E.T., and Mark Schultz. Thank you so much to our middle third patron. They're not the middle child of our top patrons. They're the best. No. All our children. We love them equally.
They're all the best, yes. They're all our favorites.
They are. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll get to apparently our main story.
All right, the Antifa Round Table, held at the White House with all of your favorite MAGA people. Just too many to name. All the stars are here. Of course, Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and Donald Trump. But we're going to skip Kash Patel. We've heard enough from these people, but just to give you a quick preview of the intro, just because I had some intro clips lined up, but we just don't need this. We don't need to watch more Trump. We've seen plenty of this man. But just so you know what you missed, they talk about how there are paid anarchist operations, including signs that are being made. That Biden was targeting Christians, which means
that's
with
the proof.
Exterior. This video you linked me starts with an exterior of the White House, a la SNL.
Yeah,
it
totally.
It just looks like they're doing the exterior shot, and then they're going to go in, and it's all. They should do an Antifa Round Table sketch because
that would be so good.
And then you could have all kinds of characters. It's Austin Powers-esque, like just these villains, like just talking, just making up shit about Antifa.
Man,
get on it, SNL.
That's good.
So we found out that Biden is targeting Christians, which means, of course, people who are targeting abortion clinics.
Biden is?
Yeah, Biden was. We were going to complain about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very important because we're not doing that anymore. We're not targeting
I
Christians.
was going to say, congrats, man. Anything he's doing, any amount of terrorism at 80. If you're a terrorist after 80, they should let you do it. To be able to maintain that level of activity.
Official position of the show?
Yeah,
Matt,
it's activity, it's friendship, it's connection.
That's
terrorism.
True.
Is good for longevity.
It's important to be passionate about something in old age.
Learn something new, neuroplasticity.
Yeah.
We learned that Antifa wants to kill people. Antifa has possibly killed maybe one person ever.
They're so well funded, and yet they can only kill one person. They can only muster one confirmed kill.
It's because their sign budget is so astronomical.
Yeah,
so they're well funded, but it all goes
to
murder
budget.
Yeah.
Their Amazon tent budget. They all have the same tent.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I keep saying they. We all have the same tent.
Exactly.
Obviously, we're not going to pretend we're part of it.
We also learn, of course, once again, that there's 1,000% increase on ICE officers, citation needed.
Again, holy shit.
Yep, they're really
We're
big
up
on
to
that one.
300,000 million trillion billion % increase.
And I do want to point out that the bait and switch there when Marsha Blackburn was switching over immediately from journalists to them.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Oh, in that clip that we watched, she immediately started talking about ICE assaults when this was supposed to be a hit list on journalists, which of course it wasn't.
Right.
As if that has anything to do with
Yeah.
doxing ICE. Yeah. So Antifa is apparently the same as ISIS, which has killed about 25,000 people.
Wow.
And displaced 3 million.
I feel like ISIS would also qualify as fascist, I would think.
They are. And in fact, Antifa tactics have been used to fight ISIS in Syria and other places. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, you're right on. No, it's very true.
They're part of the FA. They're firmly in the FA. There's
Absolutely.
Antifa and then there's FA.
Very much
And
for the FA.
that's a force. That's a friendly ghost.
That's a fuh.
Spooky ghost dichotomy right there. We're on the Antifa part.
Well,
and lots of other things are FA, like ISIS and this administration.
Yes.
Yes.
But the whole point here, and this was all done by all these other fascist governments throughout history. The whole point is to get out ahead of it and call us the real fascists. We're the real threat. We're the problem. That's the whole point of this panel.
Yeah,
so
no puppet.
No puppet.
Yeah.
Let's start with Nick Sorter at 1930. We'll just watch a bit of him. He's a conservative media regular.
Okay.
Journalists and reporters. You want to start?
That table's not round. Fuck
Absolutely.
off.
President
The lies
Trump,
never stop with this
members of the
administration.
cabinet really appreciate you guys bringing this together, and the fact that we are here today
Oh my God, that's
on
Andy No
such
right
short
there. Yeah, it
notice shows how serious you guys are taking this issue
I
of
can't-
trans
I
terrorists
can't
and
fucking do it.
frankly, the cities
Trans
and police
terrorists?
departments that are cooperating with Antifa, such as Portland.
Cops love 'em.
I mean, the Portland politicians are literally willing to sacrifice their own citizens just to appease
Literally
these Antifa terrorists.
sacrificing.
It's sickening. I've seen it firsthand, obviously. When I went to jail that night, never expected it to happen.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
was
that
arrested.
They were maybe removing me for my own safety. It never crossed my mind that I was the one that was being arrested for a crime after I was just thrown into a hole. I heard from the Department of Homeland Security.
Gun to my head, I never would have come up with what the rest of that was going to be. I was thrown into a hole. For Mr. President, I am here because I was thrown into a hole. Sorry, that just came out of nowhere. That is, I love that I one of us doesn't see the stuff beforehand, and it's me. Because that's a joy. That is a joy.
You just made me enjoy that a lot more, actually.
You are talking to the fucking president of the United States and telling him I was thrown into.
Well-known Antifa tactic to round him up and throw him into a hole. So good.
I would never like that phrasing. I was thrown into a hole. He's so serious. I never would have imagined. Usually you arrest the guy who threw someone into the hole. Or you arrest the hole. You don't arrest the guy that got thrown into the hole.
Yeah. Yep.
Then they hand me a ladder to climb out of the hole. Then I got thrown back in again. I had the ladder thrown on
This
top
time
of me.
by the police.
And then they had to get another ladder and a stick and try to lift me out of the hole.
We'll point out that his whole adventure did not end with a criminal charge. He was
Yep.
held
I
on
would need
disorderly
to, I'm
conduct.
sorry. We have so little joy in our lives in this day and age. I need to listen to that again.
It's sickening.
Sickening?
I've seen it firsthand, obviously.
Obviously. You heard about the
when I
whole
went to
incident.
jail that night, never expected it to happen. I thought that they were maybe removing me for my own safety. It never crossed my mind that I was the one that was being arrested for a crime after I was just thrown into a hole. I heard from the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, there it is. There it is. You're right.
So good.
That is really good.
Oh, God.
It's a line for the ages. After I was just thrown in a hole.
After I was
The
thrown
ultimate injustice.
Petitioning the president over your hole throwing inning.
We're starting off strong, guys. Great panel. Also, I love how he's like, yeah, it's
Anyway,
it really,
that's the end of the show. I'm done. That's all we needed.
I love how he's saying it goes to show how serious we are that we're here on short notice, as if these people would
Right.
not show up for like a camera.
Oh,
like
exactly.
anywhere.
Exactly.
It goes to
With
show how serious
no
you are that
notice.
you're napping through this not round table. It's fucking rectangular at best.
It's an open
Not round
square.
at all. There's no pizza. That would be funny if they're all having a little pizza party too. We came here for the Antifa
would
Round
be
Table pizza party,
adorable,
and they're each
actually.
like getting like their little paper
The
plates.
little
Like,
soda, like-
So anyway, I was about the hole. Hold on, where was I? I was throwing you a hole. There's no pizza there. Okay, what's next?
Keep going.
Oh, we're just getting. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
thank
let's
you.
watch a bit more.
That's what I wanted to hear.
After I had gotten out of jail, and one of your, I won't say exactly who it was, but somebody very close to Secretary Noem over here said that they were legitimately worried for my safety in the Portland jail. But luckily, the Portland jail was, I was the only one there, essentially, because they don't actually arrest people in Portland,
yeah.
besides conservative
I'm sure.
journalists, I guess. So
There was
I'm
no one
glad
else in the
that
Multnomah
it was
County
not a good
jail.
night for me. Let's just say that. It was not fun sitting in that jail, but
We gotta throw this guy back in the hole. Someone throw this guy's ass in it. He has the most, there's punchable faces, there's throw in.
Hole worthy. Yes.
I think one of the things that we missed, though, I'm pretty sure this didn't happen here, Matt. Remind me if I'm wrong. He came with like the whole thing was like he was trying to save a flag from being burned,
Yes.
and he came here with the burnt flag.
So good.
And he
That's the
pulled it
funniest
out from underneath the table.
Oh,
to,
well.
like,
Did they all
show
get
Trump.
up and salute it? Please tell me they all got up and saluted
It's
it.
pretty ridiculous.
Single cheer.
And Trump basically says like, oh, do you, and he's like, I know exactly who did this too. And Trump is like, oh, you know who like was burning that flag? He's
George
like, yeah, I
Soros.
know the name. And he's like, all right, we'll connect with Christie after this. And, we'll take care of
Why
that.
would she be in charge of?
I might be wrong. Maybe it was Cash. But
No,
it was
I'm
one
not
of them.
doubting you. I'm just saying
Yeah.
this fucking stupid
He
fascism.
did sign that
Yeah.
executive order on flag burning. He talks about it at the beginning about how we're going
Yeah,
out.
but
We're-
what is she? I thought she's DHS. or
DHS,
whatever.
but it's a threat to our national security that
Department
somebody's
of
burning a flag
burning?
somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't think about that.
Yeah.
The First Amendment is a threat to Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Are we still going with this with Mr.
Till
Hull?
23, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank
I'm
you.
glad to see what has come of it. And I've been able to talk to a bunch of FBI agents, ATF agents,
Fellow Holter.
DHS agents that I didn't even know existed until I went there and went to that.
Been
He
thrown
did
in
it.
holes anonymous. Hi.
Isn't it?
It was
Isn't it a weird thing though for him to be saying like, I didn't know that there were staff in like
there
these
are dozens of us who have been thrown in holes. Okay,
like no,
sorry.
you're like literally just saying I didn't know agents existed at DHS at the FBI like that. Are you an idiot?
I love how he called himself. Yes, he called himself a conservative journalist. I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't know there's any of this. I don't even know where we are right now.
And the morale is at an all-time high. It is so exciting to see
That's not what
these
reality
guys
says.
know now that they have the backing of the secretary, the DOJ, as well as the president of the United States, and they are there to do their job. They are going to fulfill this mission and deport these violent criminals. I believe one of the ones that I did a ride along with Secretary Noem yesterday, President Trump, and there was a pedophile that had come into the country 5 times over the past 7 years. 7 years. And apparently under the Biden regime, that was just allowed to happen. That was fine.
Taking jobs from
problem.
American pedophiles.
It's
Yeah.
concerning to me that you're seeing the Portland Police Department, as well as the governor of Oregon and the mayor, of course, coming out and running defense for pedophiles that have entered the country illegally 5 times. It's crazy. I'm glad it's taking a front row seat in the media. And, they're being forced to talk about it in reality because, we're the ones that were on the ground. We're the ones that are actually reporting what's going on. Much of the legacy media has been either ignoring it or covering for Antifa for years now. So thank you guys so much for taking this seriously. And President Trump, you mentioned that flag.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Remember,
Okay.
you put out a truth right after I
It's got a hole all
took
over
this
it.
flag from
He had to bring that
from
through
man was
security
burning
and
it in.
stuff. Like, I'm just thinking of.
Looks like
Oh
a
yeah, I know
hat.
exactly
There
what
it
it
is,
So
yeah.
why don't you give it to Pam?
Oh,
Give it
Pam.
to the Attorney General.
okay.
And
There it is.
let's start the prosecution.
That was him.
I actually have a second flag that he tried to burn as well, so I have two of them.
Fucking flags you got on you, man.
Started burning. Everyone went crazy. And that's when it started, when
right.
they started burning the flag. So
Yeah, that's
thank you. If you could give the
Very new
information,
phenomenon,
that'd be
the
great.
flag, burning of the flag.
And at least that
Crazy.
horrible night made you famous. You got some
Oh, did it
Is that
freeze?
23?
Oh, it did freeze.
Weird.
YouTube
Whoa.
couldn't take it anymore.
I gotta
That
tell.
was weird.
Yeah.
The fakest fucking.
Yeah.
The fucking laugh of someone who should be thrown back into a hole. All right, that was the best.
Not a lot of information about Antifa in that clip. Really,
No.
talking about the people that should be deported, which I guess also includes Antifa for his mind, and flag burning. So yeah, this is very much setting the theme though of people just sucking up as hard as possible. Just a whole lot of ass kissing in this session. Did we get through to? That's probably enough out of him.
Yeah.
This is somebody I just want to point out who claimed that Elizabeth Warren assaulted him. He tried very hard to say
We
that
should all be
Elizabeth
so
Warren
lucky.
assaulted. Yeah, right. Well, we do know, of course, that Elizabeth Warren is into like heavy kink. We learned that from what's his name? Remember that?
It's that. Yeah.
Remember
Remember that guy? How's he doing? Wool.
Man, oh man, yeah, he should be Jack Wall. Whatever
Oh,
happened
yeah.
to you?
What's he been doing?
Jack.
Jake.
It's not Jack. Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah,
Jacob.
Jacob Wool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's right. That's right. Of
Oh
course.
man, how's
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doing? Somebody Google that right now.
Well, it seems to be
Yes,
out of
sir.
public light, so that's good. All right.
I wish I could stop thinking about how funny that was. I'll try. I'm going to do my best, my absolute best.
Yeah.
Fucking clowns.
The idea that he was
formally sentenced on Monday.
Oh, for one of the many
like,
frauds.
Just on Monday.
Yeah,
He's
well,
done.
I just pulled up the news to see if he was in the news, and yeah, this was posted yesterday.
How about it?
You're talking about Jacob Wool?
Yeah, Jacob
Wow.
Wool and Jack
Is he going to get
Bergman.
a pardon any fucking
Oh, yeah.
second now?
Probably
Because it was fraud, right? It was some kind of fraud. He was
Yeah.
For a lot
perpetrating.
of fraud.
Oh
Trump was
well,
spreading
it's
fraud.
state charges, state's
Thank
voter
God.
intimidation law.
What state
Oh.
though?
Michigan.
Thank God.
Yeah.
If it
Oh,
was Texas or Florida, he would be out tomorrow.
yeah. I think he put out
yesterday.
some fake voter info or something.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
done
it was
so
a
many
fake-
frauds.
Yes, yeah, there was that. There's a lot. He did a fake
Yeah,
like
this is
voter
for
hotline
these were the robocalls.
robocalls. They
Yeah.
were like,
That's
"Oh,
right.
I'm not
That's
going to
right.
vote." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Professional
Yeah.
liar.
I mean, it's just
Jacob Wall.
probation. It sounds like.
So I
but
mean, there's
whatever.
pluses and minuses. He came up with the Elizabeth Warren thing. That's in the plus column. Everything else in the
That was
minus column.
Yeah. So yeah, a quick. That's probably more than enough of sorter. But yeah, I love the idea that he was the only person in the Multnomah County Jail on a Saturday night. That's incredible in Portland.
Sure.
Let's skip ahead
Yeah,
to
Portland PD is so famously left. You know,
Oh,
these
yeah.
lefties.
kind and
They've literally been caught
discerning.
coordinating with Nazis
yeah. The Proud
because
Boy rallies.
they are the Nazis.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, let's move on
I think
to.
you know what would be funny? That would be hilarious is if they had this Antifa Round Table. Also, someone from Portland PD was there, being like part of the Nazi fascist round table. You know,
Yeah. He's like,
Like
I
they mu-
agree.
pretty much. Yeah, it's like that's that crowd. It's the same
Yeah.
people. Anyway, sorry, Matt. What,
Oh yeah, no worries. We're moving on to Emmy adjacent Brandy Cruz at 23-24.
Emmy adjacent. What?
Yeah,
What
she
did you
claims to
say?
be an Emmy Award winner, but it was her team. She did not win an Emmy. but
Oh,
she liked saying she
okay.
was.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was sort of a journalist in a way, but now she's not.
She
Now
always
she
has
is
really
this.
great blowouts, like hair. You know, her hair always looks really good on camera. So
All right.
It's Emmy
Someone throw
worthy.
her into a hole. What? Sorry. What time stamp was it?
23,
23,
24.
Oh man. There's no way we're gonna. Well, that's where we are already.
Gonna keep it
Just
quick.
goes right into that.
All right,
Okay. Let's. Let me make sure I'm on this.
Get a
Let's
little
get a
bit of
taste.
her.
we'll taste the
thing
brandy.
here. It's just you can't compete. I feel like she's gonna be like, well, hate to go after that.
Very publicly as to how they let this happen.
I have to follow whole guy. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, Brandy Cruz, you're going to hear us be very fired up today, and you can tell, and it's because some of us have been covering Antifa for 15 years and have never had anyone in a position of authority even acknowledge their existence. And I'll also tell you
Weird.
that I think that had you not done the single most
Look at the
powerful
hair.
thing you've done to deal
Oh,
with
and
Yeah,
this
it's
other
getting
hair
in the
coming.
screen. Wow.
acknowledging that Antifa is a real thing. I genuinely believe there would be people at these tables who would be dead today and would have been killed in Portland had you not called them a terror organization and said we're going to bring the full weight of the federal government to bear. I talked to Katie Davis-Court.
I want to know what's going through Annie No's head right
She'd been
now.
assaulted all summer.
Nothing.
And she said the same thing. They didn't seem quick to violence
the whole time.
as soon as you made that designation.
Boy,
So they're thinking in their
this
heads,
person's
they're
gunning
worried.
for a
There's been
fucking
2 dozen
position
Oh,
within
yeah.
the
Oh, it
administration.
gets worse. It gets worse.
She's like full business lady. Like
Oh, yeah.
I could be
With her
in
pen in hand.
the White
like,
House.
Yeah.
And it's savvy. She knows exactly what she's doing here.
She's been studying
These are all job
episodes of The
interviews.
Apprentice.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this is wow.
Or so arrested in Portland, they don't want to go to federal prison. There's this video of them, one of them who was in the face of an ICE agent, and then he's in custody shaking. Once you take the mask off, they're nothing. I
the
was
mask,
told by probably a dozen people not to tell you this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years.
That's a lot. That's like
Back when I was a
It's
journalist.
this is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. You know, I watched,
she
I'm
is
a reporter in
pushing
Seattle,
all the
and
buttons. She
frankly,
knows exactly
I could
what
not
she's doing.
care any
Yeah.
less what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not
Great.
here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing, because if you have not come to that conclusion by now, you are never going to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it.
Are you going
And
to
you're going
talk
to go
about
and you're going to
Antifa?
say
or-
it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who
Yep.
are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. It's like I said, I'm much happier about it. But, you know, for me, again, I could
How long
not
are we
care
doing
any
this?
less the stories that go to print.
Tell me
This
when
is
to
what I
stop.
care about.
2647
We
is what I
have 3.5 years.
had. But
Nothing
is
is guaranteed, although I think if Democrats keep it up, we'll probably have Republican presidents for the next 3 decades. But nothing is guaranteed, and so what I want to see over the next 3.5 years is a full court press to dismantle Antifa once and for all in a meaningful way. I know, Andy, we talked
what a
before this
fucking
about some
ghoul.
ideas. That's really what we want to, I don't care what the media says, I don't care what Democrats say. They will never wake up to this fact. So we want the federal government to take as many of these cases as possible, look at the interstate travel between Portland and Seattle when it comes to these people who are committing violent acts.
Couple-hour drive.
Hopefully in 3.5 years,
Interstate travel.
they will be a shell of their
Well,
former
that's pretty
selves.
bad, but yeah.
Close to that, and it's Antifa and many others,
Yes.
unfortunately. There are many others.
Oh, man. Boy,
Crazy.
so in a weird way, that wasn't as good as Whole Guy, but that was an incredible sales job. That is somebody who
Yeah.
really thought of every single way to appeal to this fucking douchebag,
Yeah.
this orange goddamn stain. And she nailed it. Like, honestly, I
Oh, yeah.
couldn't think of a better way to do that. Like,
she practiced that for quite a while.
yeah, she tried to like get him to like
It's her,
think
first
about
job
her
interview.
physical attraction, tried
Yep.
to get like all this very calculated stuff. And I wonder if it's going to work. I don't know what he could hire her to or what she's gunning for, but
Something.
man.
Oh, they'll
She's getting
create
something.
Yeah.
She's certainly going to get a press pass. She hosts a podcast called Undivided. So, of course, it's nonpartisan, rejects fringe ideology, speaks truth to power, all that stuff. So
Sure.
here we are.
Undivided.
being
Here I am
nonpartisan.
saying I don't give a shit what the media says, and I'm not here to convince anybody. But undivided, I'm nonpartisan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she didn't. So good work.
Yeah.
I'm glad she wasn't trying to convince me because she didn't say anything about Antifa. Yeah. So that's Brandy Cruz for you.
Jeez.
Yeah. So let's take a look, of course, at
One of your
All-Star.
favorite.
Yes. The man himself, Andy No, 2714.
The wickedly talented. Oh, man.
Andy, no.
Okay. Well, we're going right. This is just it. We're just going.
Needs
in
no
order.
introduction. Yep.
This guy. What a thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the cabinet. I have a lot of gratitude and a little bit about my background.
Is this like fake accent
born
thing?
in Portland, Oregon, from there. And growing up, it's always been left-wing, very progressive.
I know, he's lost
and
it a
I
little
liked
bit.
it. It had cafes and artists and those who lived a bohemian lifestyle.
Still very affected.
And in 2016, I was a graduate student at Portland State studying political science. I was an editor at the student paper there, a very progressive paper. And I was assigned to cover the election night demonstrations. Well, the elections night protests turned to riots, 3 days of violent rioting in Portland, and it was the first time that I saw groups dressed in black with their faces covered. This was 4 years before COVID. Some of them were waving the black flag of anarchism, some the red flag of Marxism, and within seconds they would ravage one street to another, to another, to another.
Wow.
And the next day, I would read the
What does
legacy
it mean to
media,
ravage
which I
a
still read
street?
at that time and looked forward to, and I looked up to those journalists, and I was really shocked to see that the narrative was that these, in my view, anti-democratic political violence was legitimate acts of protest because people were concerned about racism or all these other lies. And so for the next 4 years, I just continued going out with my video camera. I thought, look, people can ignore what I write because of spin, but videos can quite speak for themselves.
Can we pause for a second?
And
Please.
Can I
Just
never hear
I need
this
to
again?
I just need to like offer some context here.
Yes.
He said he wrote for the student paper, right, while he was at Portland State. And then he was like really surprised by the way that the journalists at this progressive paper were covering this thing that he saw with his own eyes. And so he went out on his own and started capturing things himself. He was fired, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was covering
fired from a student
newspaper. Yeah,
That's hard to
so
do.
he was covering an interfaith panel at campus, and his coverage of the Muslim students' remarks in that he ended up being dismissed over that because of the way that he characterized it. The editor said that the summary of the Muslim students' remarks reflected a reckless oversimplification and violation of journalistic ethics and was meant to incite a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
That he was manipulating these
whole deal.
situations. Right.
Yeah.
And so he continues to do that. So I just want to be clear that that's why he had to go out with his camera and do things on his own, is because he got fired from the student newspaper. So there you go.
And that's who he's been ever since. That exact thing.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
it is.
And
I didn't want to
immediately,
work there. I wanted to go.
Immediately after
by
that,
myself.
he wrote a piece with the National Review right after getting fired, and it was titled "Fired for Reporting the Truth." So, yep, there you go.
They tend to do that. They hate the truth. Those student newspapers. Are we doing more of this fucking shit? A little more. Can't listen to this guy.
I know.
He's the worst.
2019, it led to me nearly losing my life. I was covering another Antifa protest turned riot.
No, it was a Proud Boys rally and a counter protest.
This guy
There's
over
that
here,
little context
did they
again.
get you in the hole as well? Yeah.
You got in that hole too? Yeah. It was a Proud Boys rally, not an Antifa riot. And then there was a counter protest because of the Proud Boys.
Yeah. Was this the milk incident?
This is the milkshake one. Yeah.
Milkshake.
Oh,
yeah.
he almost died of milkshake.
Yeah.
I remember. Wasn't he like, there could have been dry, oh yeah, there's a whole thing where it's like,
He tried to say it was like
there
concrete.
might have been dry, yeah, powder that would make.
Portland.
Stupid.
And then I was ambushed in a mob beating. And I had never been in a fight. I didn't even realize that I was being assaulted until seconds in. And the punches came from everywhere on my head and my face, and I was bleeding out of my eyes and ears. And then they threw all the drinks in my eyes to humiliate me further and to laugh at me. And I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance and CT scan, and I had subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is bleeding in the brain. I nearly died.
I had milkshake
And
brain.
After surviving
Doctors said
that,
they'd never seen anything
the
like it.
reporting that I saw in liberal media it seemed to suggest that I
Douchebag
had
gets
deserved
milkshaked.
it
Yeah.
because they branded me far right. And some even went so far as to suggest that I maybe faked my injuries. A BuzzFeed reporter asked for my medical records, which I did provide, but this felt so, it's like because I didn't die in that attack, there was another round of people who wanted to finish me off.
Okay.
But I continued, and then 2020,
brave.
Portland was really the epicenter of the longest political violence. Those
Trump is
months
so
of riots,
bored.
I was on the ground, undercover.
Yeah, is he sleeping
and
right
there
now?
was
He's
assassination.
looking into outer
There was a
space.
supporter of Donald Trump named Aaron Danielson, who
he
was
said
shot
Trump. He
dead
said
by
Trump.
a self-described
yeah,
Antifa
he's-
member, who
yeah,
then
well, he's fine.
fled out of state and died in a shootout.
This girl on his left is just like, you fucking amateur. You don't know how to.
Yeah.
You're good at
Mention Trump.
fascism news, but you don't know how to appeal to this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Harmeet Dillon was also Andy No's lawyer, by the way, when he was looking into pursuing a lawsuit against like the Portland police and stuff. Harmeet Dillon, who now heads the Civil Rights Division for the DOJ under the
Yes.
Trump administration. So
Cool.
Small world.
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
done with this guy?
I think that's probably enough Andy No.
So
I mean, any
dramatic.
Andy No is enough. Yeah. No. We can skip to another all-star, Jack Posobiec at 35.
Ooh.
Love us some Jack
This guy
Posobiec.
in a minute.
Yeah. It's been a good minute.
well, yeah, I mean, he's a quick thing before we get into that, but just again, everybody is related, right? So Jack is the senior editor at Human Events, where Will Chamberlain is editor-in-chief.
Will Chamberlain, holy shit.
Will Chamberlain, senior counsel for Mike Davis's Article 3 project. So we're talking alt-right, right? And then Human Events, their parent organization, bought the Post Millennial, where Andy No is
Human Events.
editor at large. Yeah. And Human Events is actually what Ronald Reagan credited. It's a magazine. And he credited the magazine with turning him from being a liberal Democrat into a conservative, and said that it was must reading for conservatives who want to know what is really going on. Really going on in Washington, D.C.
Choking up. This
Yeah,
is very
I know. It's very emotional.
She's a big Reagan fan. It's anytime she starts
Yeah.
waxing poetic about Ronald Reagan.
So,
Like,
yeah,
and he
it's
said
just,
the
it's
best thing for the inside of a man is the outside of a horse.
It's just everything is connected, right? So I just wanted to set that stage.
And she was
there.
the throat goat. What a power couple.
Can't let that go unmentioned. And I will point out the Southern Poverty Law Center, I'm going to have to link to his profile on the SPLC because it's quite a profile. It just has him filed under general hate. That is the category they have him under. He has so many general hate ties to white nationalists,
General
neo-Nazis.
hate.
Yeah, just
That should be one of the characters at the Antifa Round Table.
General hate.
General hate.
I just did
Reporting.
How I Met Your
EN
Mother
dot
thing.
hate.
Yeah,
Anyone
yeah.
who's watching.
Well, let's watch a bit of Jack at 35. I think most of our
boy.
viewers are probably familiar with Jack Posobiec, but yeah, probably the worst person. That's
Please
really
say a
says
few
the
words.
worst person here.
Mr. President, thank you so much for
Whole
having us
guy
here
had to
today.
turn on his
That's what
mic
he
for him.
looks like
holding
now?
this,
Yeah.
this
Whoa.
round table.
I guess he was so
Antifa's
young
real.
when we first.
Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany.
That is true.
And
What
why
side of
were
that
they in the
Weimar?
Weimar Republic?
just
Yeah.
under 1
Yeah.
month since we saw a far leftist murder Charlie Kirk, and we saw thousands upon
leftist?
thousands of people, other far leftists and people in positions of authority, people like nurses and pilots and doctors and HR departments, celebrating the death and the murder.
I wouldn't have been able to
Charlie
pick
Kirk.
him
The
out of a
sickness
lineup
that's
now
out
that he
there
looks-
is
that's not what I thought he
absolutely
looked
real.
like.
And Mr. President, thank you for mentioning the fact that one of the bullet casings read, "Hey fascist, catch" on it. One of the other bullet casings right next to that had
that
Bella
that
Ciao.
girl is a black
written
Yeah,
on it.
she does.
Bella Ciao
Yeah. Bad
is
Was she
a
attacked
song
by
that
fa-
is known in Antifa circles as the international
He's taking
anthem
the bullets
of Antifa.
very
All
seriously.
of us around this room that have studied Antifa, we're very familiar with these symbols. And Mr. President, I think the situation is getting worse. When you look at people like Luigi Maggioni, in his 20s, Thomas Matthew Crooks,
I wanna
of
look at
course,
him.
who took a shot at you, sir, the ICE shooter in Dallas, and now this Tyler Robinson, we're starting to see a pattern of more and more murderous violence. And this same violence is not just random. It is targeted assassinations, which are getting worse. And every single one of us in this room that goes out there, and obviously you as well, sir, and all the staff, we are now under that threat every single day. And working there at Turning Point USA, and I've spent just about the last month out there in Phoenix with Erica, with the family, with the team. And I will tell you this, Mr. President, even though going through something like that, which is an absolute nightmare, and people say, you know, what was it like to speak in front of all those people? It was horrible. Every second of it was horrible. But we're not going to quit. And Turning Point USA is continuing the tour that Charlie was on. We had 6,000 people when we went back to Utah. We had 5,000 people last night in Montana, if you can believe that. We are continuing to organize on campus. We are getting more and more people coming out in the face of this threat, knowing what happened to Charlie. But Mr. President, we need to do something about this because I fear that the next one,
yeah, you're all saying this. What?
Who could be killed could be sitting at this table right now. And we're
Everyone's
not
saying
going to
the
stop.
same thing.
But they need to stop, and they will not stop until they are stopped. Thank you.
Every last one of us is thrown in.
I appreciate it very much. One thing I have to say is that Washington, D.C. was almost as bad. I don't know what could be worse than Portland. You don't even have stores anymore. They don't even put glass up. They put plywood on their windows. But most of the retailers have left. But Washington, D.C. was so bad. And Pam, I'd say it took 12 days to really make it pretty good and a month to make it great. And now people are going out to dinner. The restaurants are booming. They don't have enough seats.
Had enough of this guy.
Yeah.
So we're just going to skip Julio Rosas. He's just another TPUSA guy just piling on the stories. He's claiming that there was a cartel at one of the protests. Of course, that didn't happen.
Oh,
An Antifa cartel?
Yeah, the Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generacion, that they're just like drug dealing cartels. Love Antifa.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with any of this. Then he also claimed that protesters were chanting "shoot ICE" in Chicago. There was one incident of maybe somebody saying that in one protest in Chicago, and people were immediately contradicting that. And
I'm pretty sure, like, just from looking at the LA Times coverage and like NPR's coverage about the assaults on ICE, I think there's been like, besides like the Texas situation, which also no ICE person actually got shot there, right? It was
what Texas situation?
The Texas facility, the ICE facility, where there are a bunch of people indicted that were the Antifa cell out of Texas. But I think there is like one ICE officer that's been shot, and it was because a bullet ricocheted off of something else from like the local police and ended up hitting the ICE officer in the leg.
Not by a protester, not by anybody, not by a civilian. And, of course, we've seen again and again, ICE is doing all the shooting at these protests. I mean, you've seen these pastors and protesters and people in, frog suits getting shot and maced up and down. But yeah, so let's go into Katie, Davis Court? Katie Davis Court.
Davis Court.
4516. Just moving on along here.
Katie Davis Court.
Okay. Yeah.
She'll tell us about her black eye.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. We're going to get an answer to that, huh?
Andy No is the editor-in-chief.
President, it is an honor being here today, and I first wanted to start by thanking you guys for designating Antifa a terrorist group. It's exactly what this group is. It's a long time coming. I'm an investigative journalist from Seattle. I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy No and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade. I know their inner workings, and Antifa uses extreme political violence to crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days,
we're right here. You don't have
anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have
that's ICE.
Assaulting reporters.
What kinds of cowards would wear masks in public?
To cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion.
I can't control the volume of my voice.
In the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect.
Police officers think this is how women look all the time.
In the streets, had her held for 35 minutes. I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came. Then that's what opened to my eyes to what this group is actually doing. I watched 20 Antifa militants help my assault suspect escape into an Antifa safe house that is 1 block away from the ICE facility. And
it was a TGI Fridays.
They have like house money?
Antifa
Dang.
Protesters are conducting parliamentary operations. It's where they're
Parliamentarily.
What?
They're showering. They're
She's trying to say paramilitary, but she combined it with parliamentary.
Parliamentary, yeah.
It's parliamentary paramilitary.
Yeah, same thing.
Parliamentary.
Now they're showering. I thought they didn't shower.
And have observed shift changes. This group is highly organized. It is being
changes.
funded through mutual
Those
aid
are
groups.
illegal.
And they have no plans of stopping. Residents living across the ICE facility have been held hostage by Antifa.
Wow.
They're begging for federal intervention. The city refuses to help. And they want you, President Trump, to come in and restore law and order. I want to stress the importance of taking this situation seriously, because when I first started reporting on this occupation, I went undercover in Black Bloc. I talked to these Antifa militants. I lasted for about a month. They believe that ICE agents are the Nazi Gestapo who need to be killed. They told me that directly, and I think that if this situation is not taken as seriously as it is, it's just a matter of time before someone gets killed. And thank you for having me.
That's pretty incredible. The only question nobody can answer is why. Why are they doing this? They're like insurrectionists. Why? They're terrible.
They're like insurrection. They're like the ones, that we had in January 6th.
And pardoned. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he loved insurrectionists. Yeah. Pardon them.
Not like this. So I will point out, yes, she did get hit in the eye with a flagpole, but she was in the middle of a fracas. You can watch the video. It's not worth watching now, but like there's somebody. So there's Antifa people just walking down the street with their faces covered, like Black Bloc style, waving a flag. Looks like a Palestinian flag, I think. And somebody grabs the flag away from them, and this fight starts, as will happen. She gets closer, and she gets hit with a flagpole. So I can't really tell from the video if it's all that intentional. It doesn't seem like they're aiming for her face at all, or that was what was happening. But yes, she did get a black eye while reporting from the front lines of Antifa. ICE has also allowed her to hang out on the roof and report from their building because, for her safety, I guess, and because she's an independent journalist, unfettered by partisanship. Yeah. So, we got Savannah Hernandez at 4847. Watch just a minute of her.
Well, that's right now. All right.
Former InfoWars, current TPUSA.
But you really wonder why are they doing it? What are they gaining other than they're obviously paid? They're paid a lot of money. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, if I can answer that question, the reason why they're doing it is because the same media that's sitting in this room with us has declared all of us at this table Nazis and fascists, and they've been doing this for years.
No,
this is why Antifa feels emboldened to attack us. Now, almost every single person at this table has been threatened with a steel bat. We've been assaulted, we've been harassed, we've been threatened, and that is in huge part due to the media. So my message right now is for you guys. Because
does she just mean a metal bat?
Back in 2020,
like aluminum, right?
I was censored for my reporting on Antifa here in Washington, D.C. You were talking about how safe it is now, Mr. President. It wasn't so safe back then. Back in 2020, I watched as a father was being mobbed and surrounded by Antifa members as his terrified, crying children looked on and the police here did nothing. I watched as a woman had her hair violently ripped out of her skull simply
for hit with a pure adamantium bat
on the streets of Washington, D.C. And by the way,
then they moved
if you guys
to
try
lead
to go
bats.
and find any of this footage, you won't find any of it because Twitter deleted all of it because our president shared my reporting and they deleted my entire account immediately after. So now, if you want to know what happened in 2020, all you're going to see is the media headlines that said that it was fiery but mostly peaceful.
Hey, you guys want to know why she got her account deleted?
Yeah, tell us. An extremely violent.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Posts such as, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to read it here, but PSA, there is currently a tranny stabber on the loose. Sorry for the hateful language. And it just goes on to talk about some really horrible anti-trans stuff. This was on X, by the way. Wow. This was actually
after post.
Really? Post Twitter. Yeah, I don't know.
I was just going to say she was ahead of her time. Like I was literally going to joke, ahead of her time. But no, she was actually banned from.
They removed the post for that one, but previously on Twitter, she posted all kinds of hateful stuff. Just a little sample here. Now, again, I don't have the actual post that got her taken down from Twitter, but I don't think it was for posting these videos because nobody cares about the videos from the street. But recently she's posted things like about how she got in at 6 a.m. to an Uber and the guy didn't speak English, and she says mass deportations need to happen and they need to happen now because my Uber driver didn't speak English. That kind of thing.
I would prefer my Uber driver not speak English.
Yeah.
Do not speak to me. It's fantastic. It's the best possibility.
But yeah, she's all about White Lives Matter. She's recently been to one of those rallies. Last name Hernandez, of course.
White?
But no, she's not. She's Mexican-American. So, yep. There you go. Just a little taste.
Mexican-American into the White Lives Matter?
Yeah, well, they are officially white. Latinos are
Really?
white, according to the federal government. Yeah, that's an interesting immigration designation.
I don't think that's true.
That's not how most people think of it, but no, that is officially white Latino. So Seamus Bruner at 5254, he's kind of an interesting guy. This is one of those guys that if you're not listening too closely, that Bernie fans might like, but when you listen to him, what he's actually saying, not so much. I had not encountered this person before.
You want me to hit
Fantastic.
play?
Yeah, Thank you very much. Great job. Impassioned. That's important because you should feel like that. Please, go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here. And bringing
That's
together
just the twin of the guy got thrown in the hole.
Brave journalists.
Like the mirror image.
Everybody on this side of the room.
He's like, especially that good-looking guy.
No one can speak to the violence better than these people here. So I think we know that this is.
Did you hear that burn, by the way?
About violence and chaos.
He said, like, these,
the
incredible journalists on this side of the room.
And at the Government Accountability Institute, my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest industrial complex, Riot Inc. And we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network. It's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network.
This sounds like what's her name that we
Singham
covered.
and his network, Foreign Cash.
Who?
And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country.
Sounds like what,
Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland. They're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number one, like any corporation, Riot Inc. has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions.
Sales.
It has marketing
Accounting.
divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground
that's me.
back on the streets as quickly as possible.
Matt, you're not
But
well-funded.
it does have those investors.
That's very true.
Number
Yeah, where am I?
two,
Patreon.com/law.
we have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists, et cetera. And then 3, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks.
No.
Including at least $4 million
there's no
to
way.
these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism. These groups received money for that from both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So
The billionaire class. Oh, you're not a fan of the billionaire class?
one other
in this
thing,
room?
Interesting.
this money helps fund
There was
the
actually a voter
decentralized
referendum, so yes, that
crowdfunding
would-
platform.
Stephen Miller yawning.
These are ways that Antifa.
Well, when he doesn't get to do the yelly fascism, he's bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
And
and
what
Trump
were you
is like
saying,
rubbing
Matt?
his eyes.
Yeah,
Trump's about to pass out. Yeah, because nobody's
That's
mentioned
as
Trump.
alert as he ever looks.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I'm sure that everybody's going to be shocked that if you follow the money on Seamus Bruner, it goes pretty quickly to Steve Bannon and Robert Mercer.
I believe it.
The Government Accountability Institute is a complete joke. Everything he's saying is a joke. He's obviously, what he's saying about decentralized organizations, and they're just. It's not even worth trying to track down the kind of stuff he's talking about. But there is so much money behind the Government Accountability Institute, and Steve Bannon and Robert Mercer. Robert Mercer, of course, funding some of the worst stuff in the country that's going on right now, and allowing a lot of this kind of stuff to happen. So. Just thought it was worth mentioning this guy who's obsessed with following the money. It's pretty easy to follow his if you'd like to. So he's just in here to provide the gravitas of, pretending that there's some kind of funding or that there's something that the FBI, I mean, it's all ridiculous, but like this is an important component of the story, right? Is that there's a funding network that can be taken down by the federal government
Right.
sometime before Trump falls asleep.
Right. I mean, which is why they like directing the IRS to investigate, tax exempt entities and just
true
anyone
enemies.
who
Who's
might
Susie
be
Wiles?
chief of staff.
Oh, okay.
She
I
was
feel
the
like
campaign manager. Well, we talked about her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounded familiar. I was like, oh, who's that old lady?
Classic evil name, Susie Wiles.
Yeah.
Susie Wiles.
All right. That's probably enough of Seamus Burner. You're getting the idea.
Well, what's the one, the Mamdani funding thing they did, with what's her name? It just seemed like those kind of tactics.
Yeah.
Where they just probably look at like the overall budgets of certain
right,
organizations
exactly.
that have once donated like $20 to somebody.
Yeah.
And then they say like, I thought I heard he said like $400 million, of which 4 million had gone to, or something. It was something like that. What did he say? It's just, it reeks of bullshit.
Yeah,
oh, well, like
exactly.
you said, it's obvious bullshit. What do we want to go to next here?
Yeah, let's skip some more obvious bullshit because it's just too obvious to talk about. We don't need to talk about it.
I mean, it all is, Matt. If we're going to skip that, that's the whole thing. So I guess we'll just pick our obvious bullshit poison here.
Nick Shirley and Cam Higbee, we can skip. I don't find any of that to be interesting. They just typical Islamophobia and anti-whatever. But let's go to Jonathan Cho at 102.37. Another dark money operation. Jonathan Cho, the Discovery Institute.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Okay, please. Go ahead, yeah.
Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you.
My name is Jonathan Cho. I am an investigative reporter for Frontlines Turning Point USA. I'm also a senior fellow at Discovery Institute in Seattle. And I cover far-left extremism as well as the homeless drug crisis in America. And I find it oftentimes those worlds intersect. And hot off the presses, what I wanted to bring to your attention today is a report from a Capital Research Center here in D.C. in conjunction with Discovery Institute. They just put out this study right now. And what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. In many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for
homeless
Antifa.
Industrial
Antifa
complex
is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. Let me give you an example. There's a group called Stop the Sweeps in many U.S. cities right now. They get in front of encampment sweeps. What they're doing quietly is they're bringing in Antifa militants to manufacture a crisis to make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team.
And it's printed out so you know it's real.
That's Nick Shirley, who we skipped over.
I already love this.
By the way, that baby.
I love that, because this entire fascist effort, well, we've talked about it on other shows too. It's a marriage of 3-4 distinct groups, but one of them is the wealthy. I love that all of these, as you say, the money guy a second ago, all of these obviously billionaire funded bullshits have to point to how everything else is super well funded. The homeless, the homeless, there's the homeless industrial complex. Then you got the Antifa industrial complex. And then you got it's the soup kitchen industrial complex. You might as well pick the most unfunded things there could be and then scare us about money, which is so funny because you're that. You're all the money people. And then you want to, it's using the general valid kind of criticism of big money, and it's using that and weaponizing it in the interest of big money itself. It's so funny.
And apparently all of these homeless people are receiving a lot of money but are choosing to be, I don't know what to do.
I know. Well, so it's we've come across this in something else where it's it's the homeless industrial complex. They keep them homeless, Matt. Here's the thing. You might not know this. I feel like I covered this on a different show. They keep them homeless because that's where the money is. Because when they're homeless, then they get money to help them. Right. It's sort of like how the drug companies keep everybody sick so that they can give them medicine or something, even though that's not how it works. It's like that kind of theory. It's just as stupid as that. I mean, it's more stupid than that, actually.
I have to apologize for being this petty, but this man did not wear a collared shirt to the White House. He's wearing a T-shirt. He's wearing a white T-shirt to the White House. He's got a suit jacket, but it's a white T-shirt.
Well, if we're being petty, why is this guy's collar halfway up his head?
Oh, they're very bad at this.
What is that? Is that just how, hon, I need your fashion pointers. Why does this guy's collar go into his skull? It's like that.
It's fused into it.
Is just how his neck is, I guess?
Yeah, could just be how his neck is. He
it's
seems like he has a
we have
skinny
three bears
neck.
in collars. We got pretty normal collar, no collar, and then too much fucking collar. He has that might be a second collar. He has two on top of each other.
Just layering like polos.
I guess I don't know if we finished this guy.
I just have to point out the Discovery Institute is funded by Leonard Leo, Donors Trust. So this is another PSYOP, another, you can't really call it a think tank. It's just straight dark money. And the main job of the organization, just to make sure we get on this, is to prove that evolution is scientifically debatable.
That's so funny because that was my memory. I was like, that's what the Discovery Institute was. But then every time I hear about them now, they're just doing different fascist stuff. I was like, that's weird. Is it a different one? But no, okay, it's the same one.
He's way off mission on this, but I guess, when he buys the plane ticket and...
I don't know if they either gave up on that, because that was the intelligent design bullshit. That's a lot of, I focused on that a lot in the early 10s, because that was, but I don't know if they won or gave up. I actually don't know.
Depends on the state.
And now they're
maybe.
on to like big homeless and Antifa Inc. and all this
homeless
crap.
industrial complex.
Is that report anywhere, Matt? Did you find that report that he printed out?
No.
The thing that he printed out. Yeah, I know, but I want it. I want it.
We'll have to find
it. Yeah.
He hand delivered it to the president himself.
All right. Well, I guess I'll have to call the White House.
Oh, whoa. If you hold it, it goes faster?
Yeah.
Far left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa. So finally, in closing, what I wanted to thank you again, Mr. President, is that a few months ago, earlier this year, you put out an executive order on homelessness and the drug addiction crisis in America.
The worst one yet.
And that's sent the entire homeless industrial complex on the run. You have absolutely moved the needle and changed the game. But what's also come out, again, is that there is a connection, a deeply embedded connection with the homeless housing nonprofit game in America, connected to Antifa and the far left activists. And finally, I just wanted to say that all of our resources at Turning Point USA and Discovery Institute are at your disposal, and we will continue again to carry on the legacy of Charlie Kirk. He would have wanted us to pursue and chase the story.
Well, he was a good friend of mine, as you know, and he helped us get elected.
He helped us get elected. I could have just predicted
even some of them, but not too many of them.
He got elected in the election.
This is so evil. I mean, because, they've already, the Trump administration, we've covered this in OA several times now, about that executive order he mentioned is really scary. And Janessa had a lot to say about it, about the way they want to institutionalize people, get them off the streets, and just lock them up in wherever. And, that combined with grants passed that we've looked at pretty extensively, giving local and state governments the power to just criminalize homelessness. But then you start to say that they're associated with Antifa, and you get them into the ambit of that memo that we looked at and the executive order, and you've got another level here. It's just evil. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's looking at all of compassionate efforts by people who actually care about stuff and then trying to label it like some evil. And I don't know, I think a lot of it is just lying, but also maybe some amount of it is just not understanding that other humans have empathy and being like, what's in it?
What's in it for
angle?
them? Yeah.
Next, they're going to be like, there's a major, big funded operation called child cancer, and they got so much money. And they keep them. It's like puppies that are being adopted, and it's all the most sympathetic things that people are trying to help with that are underfunded. And then they're like, "It's big that," It's like it's okay.
It's the kind of people
you
that
just
can't
say
accept
big that, and then that's scary.
They just can't accept that some of us actually will come out on a Saturday just to protest because we don't like what's going on without getting paid.
No, that can't be it, Matt.
No.
I think it's incredible too, when you look at kind of what happened, just this thing overall, it's all these people that are quote unquote journalists, right? Independent journalists, and how they're being attacked by Antifa and running to the White House for help, et cetera. And then simultaneously, we get a new page on the website called Media Offenders, where the government is literally calling people like the worst fake news, and calling out CNN on there, just various things. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's beyond crazy at this point. But when I saw that go up, it just made me feel sick. It's just every single thing that gets added to it makes me feel sick.
Yeah, just alternate reality where these people are journalists and, CNN is... No.
Well, we're way out of time, so why don't we pick our best one to go out with? Maybe.
I know what you're going to pick. Whole guy.
No, what? No, are we done? Did we cover everything?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
There's a half hour left, so I assumed you had more.
No, not worth watching. James Klug talks about the dozens of murders at BLM riots, but of course he's talking about the protesters that were killed, not the protesters, killing people. But,
it counts.
Yeah, totally counts. Obviously, murders did happen. So anyway, it just keeps repeating. This is just beating you over the head with Antifa nonsense. But there's a purpose to it. I mean, this is all for a reason. They want to sell this narrative as hard as they can so that they can use it to do what they want to do. And you just keep coming back to the memo, this national security memo and the executive order, because that's what this is about. And this was all held within a couple weeks of those coming down.
Right.
So this is all part of the narrative.
Oh boy. Well, are we wrapping it there?
Yeah.
That's what we got.
Okay. Well, then we better thank our final, most important patrons, our top patrons at patreon.com/law who made this happen. Thank you to the Cincinnati Kid, Blah Blah Blah's Law podcast. Philly Basement Bar is busy organizing. Elect Thomas Smith, President, American Honky Tonk Bar Association. Balticate, Philip Kaiser. I hope Democratic politicians have the guts to wear shirts that say "Quiet Piggy" next to the State of the Union. That's not bad.
Man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Corin Land, a string of unpronounceable characters. Malika Chandler, Milo Meadsong is fighting petty tyrants. RhondaTheDork.com. Hors d'oeuvres in the court before we report. Big Easy Blasphemy. Chris Waltrip, Fred R. Gruthius, Classic Libtard, and Mitchell. Hey, thanks so much, patrons. If you would like to hear your name shouted out, whatever that may be, whatever, I almost said haiku. There's no haikus. What am I thinking? Palindromes, whatever palindromes, including one that involved jujitsu. What an incredible, I'm marveling out of that. I've got that and Whole Guy. There's so much good stuff in this episode.
You might be able to do a haiku depending on how many characters it is, because it's all just about syllables.
Yeah, it's true. If you get some quick, like low letter, high syllable.
Yeah, exactly.
Dense, syllable dense words. You could do it.
I feel like there's a patron out there who can get that figured out.
They will, and they will. Thank you so much, patrons, and thanks everyone for watching and listening. Thanks, Matt, for suffering through the Antifa Round Table that had no pizza at all. And Lee,
only
of course,
one hole.
as well.
Only one hole, no pizza.
Yeah, I don't watch those unless there's minimum 3 holes. I don't know what. That doesn't work.
I don't know.
All
just bringing it back to something enjoyable.
Matt's going to force Ghost back to the opposite end of the galaxy, and we'll see everyone next time.
See ya.
Stay out of those holes.
So good.